morning, millennials, and welcome back to the Toast. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you had a gargy-pargy weekend. It definitely wasn't as gargy-pargy as ours, but that's okay.
Ours was incredibly gargy and pargy. We concluded the Gizno in Atlantic City.
It was a gargy-pargy Gizno.
It was. And in a gargy-pargy weekend and a gargy-pargy summer, the Gizno in Atlantic City was unlike any other, as to be expected.
As predicted. And we were really annoying, like, you know, in the weeks leading up, being like, something major is happening at Gizno AC. You might want to get a ticket if you're on the fence because we're doing something major. And as we had said, we weren't lying. Something major occurred. Yeah, that's right. A swirly got engaged at our show. Like, when I tell you this P-Jum reached out to every email he could find. I don't know how he got it. He got Margot. He DM'd ever. He wanted this so bad. He's like, listen, my girlfriend's going to be at the show. I think like she would die. And Jackie and I, we get asked to do stuff like this a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you do it for one person, you have to do it for everyone. And it like usually doesn't feel right. But in this particular scenario,
it was right place, right time.
It was perfect. Like the final Gizno, and the more we learned about, you know, Brian and Eliana, it was just, we had to do it. And it was so iconic. And it was seriously like the best moment of my life. I don't know if she like had an inclination. I think when she got brought up.
She said she didn't.
I think when she got brought up on stage, she had no idea what was about to happen. And then when we blindfolded her, she was like, okay,
no,
wait.
I think she thought we were like doing some hijinks for our crazy show, not that like her man was side stage waiting for her. I really don't think that's what she thought.
And I just want to say, like, this is, I mean, we don't have any more Giznos planned, but this isn't going to be like something we do at every Gizno. So I don't want like girlies with boyfriends to buy a ticket being like, okay, maybe this is my time.
No, and also we couldn't do it again because the surprise is ruined. If we ever invite someone on stage, they're going to think they're getting engaged. So that's why it could only be a one-time thing, a moment in time for Eliana.
No, and Atlantic City is very much like a mini Vegas. So it was very much giving, you know, going to the chapel, gonna get married.
You know, if we were in Vegas, we would have then driven them to the chapel. And
we would have gotten ordained and done a live wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean it, Brian? Really want to marry Eliana? How about you?
All talk.
Do it right now.
It was so cute. It was such a great show. I love Atlantic City. And the swirlies were out. It was
a great environment.
It was an amazing way to wrap up the Gizno. Mm-hmm. We have officially, you know, done, the Gizno has run its course. You know, I was thinking, we don't have any live shows planned, and like literally none, but I'm sure we will do more in the future one day. Are we going to, you know, call it the Gizno?
Yes. Okay. And that's why I love the name Girly Swirlies Night Out, because whenever we do it, wherever we do it, it will be a night out for the Girly Swirlies. So I love that it's not topical. It's not like an inside joke that's just now. Like, Girly Swirlies Night Out is eternal.
Okay.
We could even like go back to the same city and do a Girly Swirlies Night Out. And because the show is different every time, like it's not stand up, it's not a certain tour. It's about the night of nights.
The night of nights tonight. Not only did kind of Gizno take over our weekend, it was very much like half Gizno, half Love is Blind UK. Mm-hmm. I think actually, you know, I've seen a lot of people watching it, and I'm telling you, like our sister Olivia made it go viral because it is slowly picking up steam, and it's not as popular as I think a lot of the other Love is Blind seasons that are here in America. Let me tell you how much I love Love is Blind UK for the cast. Like I love, but I think it's a better show than the US for so many reasons. Cause then we caught up on all the episodes last night. We were like, let's watch like a season of Love is Blind US we haven't seen. We're obviously like obsessed with Love is Blind. Immediately different, like immediately disliked it. Let me tell you.
We turned on Houston for 3 minutes and we're like, no.
They shove Nick and Vanessa Lachey up your asses. Like, why? I didn't even realize. So Emma Willis and what's his name?
Mr.
Her
Willis.
husband. They're like, I don't even know who they are. They're like UK celebrities. They were on episode 8. We have seen them 4 times. It is so little and it's so nice. The show does not need a host. And I just think Nick and Vanessa Lachey comparatively like have annoying personalities compared to these other two who are honestly very demure and very mindful. So that's off the bat. I was like, okay, this is so much more civilized. Like, thank you. And Love is Blind UK. I'm not sure if it's because they cast people a lot older than they do in the US, or because this is just a cultural difference between the US and the UK. Like one of my biggest critics, and some of the reasons why I find myself unable to watch Love is Blind US, is because people on the show like seriously don't say anything. Like they have these long conversations in the pods, and their sentences, if you look at it, it's word salad. It's like they just use the word connection. Every other word is like, and I know.
And also at the end of the day.
Yes. And I know me saying that is like, you know, ironic, but I'm not on TV.
It's absurd.
It's insufferable, and it's like really not. And that I think the first season of Love is Blind US is different from that. Like when I'm talking about Love is Blind US, I'm obviously not talking about season 1, which was just so important to me and precious. But people from the UK, and I'm not sure if it's because there are people on there who are almost 40, so they're just like a lot older and wiser, or culturally like people from the UK speak differently because they're all so eloquent. They all like are saying stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like wow, those are sentences. Like, and I feel like I'm actually really getting to know the people. And I'm really not sure if it's a cultural difference or because, people on Love is Blind US are like 23.
No.
And, Tim is 38.
I think it's cultural. First of all, I don't think 38. I think that's a red flag too. Like there's a sweet spot of age for this show
31,
just based on
3.
where you're looking, where you're at in your life. And so like a 38-year-old man who's like never been married, who all of a sudden wants to get married in 1 month, like a red flag. Sorry.
I agree.
I've never had an issue with the ages on Love is Blind US. I do think though for us, it's more enjoyable to watch British people talk because they have their slang and words that don't mean a lot. But for us, it's like new and we don't know what it means. And we just think they're saying something like when they say cracking on and those sorts of things. And here, those words, we know them and we know them to be dumb.
Yes, but that's not what I'm experiencing. Like, I'm not like enjoying, I would say I understand 99% of what they're saying.
No,
like,
I understand what they're saying, but when they do speak
dumb,
it sounds better than here.
For sure. I don't think they're speaking dumb. I think if they are speaking dumb, it's 10% compared to 100% in America. Like, and I felt like myself getting less interested when I watched the US seasons because I'm like, what the hell are these people saying? It's just like, it's like reality TV words.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because I've never felt like the reason I love Love is Blind US that first season, it was like so real,
It's like what Jasmine's mom said, like uneducated people can be difficult to communicate with.
She's so right. So really quick, we're on episode 8. There are, I think, 2 more episodes coming out on Wednesday. So if you guys want to watch with us, like you have plenty of time. The weddings come out on Wednesday. And like the bachelorette part, I think they're going to call it a hen. I think that's what they call it.
And a stag.
A stag, yeah. It's so good for a multitude of reasons. But like for us, like there is, and like there's only really one reason to watch.
There's like life before Freddie and then there's life after Freddie.
And let me tell you, Jax, like they don't make men like Freddie anymore.
No.
And what's happening to him on the show, like I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but it's hard to watch. It is. I love this man with my whole heart. Like
he deserves the world. And when him and his chosen beloved decided to get together, I was very, very excited for them and very hopeful. I had a small concern that maybe she wasn't woman enough for him.
Jackie did say those exact words.
But I really held out hope that like they could be right for each other. And now seeing what I've seen, like she's not woman enough for him. Like doesn't deserve him. It would take seriously Mother Teresa, but I believe she's out there. For me, Molly May and Freddie.
He does kind of look like Tommy, like a little bit.
Yeah, and Zach, who, Love is Blind is his favorite show, and he also watched Love Island season 5 UK with me, so he knows Tommy and Molly as well, and he just keeps calling him Tommy. Yeah. Because they are so similar, they sound alike. And then Freddie's whole thing is he's very much a homebody. He doesn't like the high life, the fast life. And I mean, is anybody more homey than Molly May son Molly?
No, Freddie would be an amazing stepfather for sure. Freddie also has spoken about how like really his whole life revolves around his older brother who has Down syndrome, and it's like he's coming from this place of just purity. Everything that comes out of his mouth, he couldn't be sweeter. And he just ends up with a girl who's like high life city, like, and at first you think like, oh, well, they'll just live, like they'll combine their lives.
They love each other so much that like they'll just be Freddie and her.
So very quickly.
I'm saying her because I'm trying not to spoil it.
What I'm about to say is I want to go through really quickly our thoughts on every couple. So starting now, like if you haven't seen it and you're never going to watch it, like you can listen. But if you are, skip ahead a couple of minutes. Let's just go couple by couple.
Timestamps.
Yeah, we'll refer to the timestamps, couple by couple. Okay, spoilers start now. Sabrina and Steven.
Well, let's finish Freddie and Catherine.
Oh, okay, Freddie and Catherine. Okay, sorry. We were being nice before. Fucking hate.
No, like she's just... It's hard because with reality TV, it's like I really want to give my thoughts, but you also have to remember like it's real people. I hope she never hears this.
Yeah.
Like pray.
No, her and her friends are just awful.
She could act in any sort of way that she wants. The way that she's acting, she's not acting in a way that she's not good enough for him. She keeps picking fights with him, even like stop petting me, I'm not a dog. The way she reacted when he said that he had cheated once, when it's clearly something he feels so horrible about, like, and she couldn't get over it. And it's like, actually in this one instance, I'm like, I feel like it's almost good. And by the way, I will defend anything Freddie has ever done, anything wrong he ever said. I don't care. You guys say I'm biased. Here, I will admit it. I actually think in this instance, it's better that he once cheated because he knows how awful it feels and that he never wants to do it again.
Well, that's like the one thing that we learned about him that's complete. When he said that, like the room gasped. Like it was really incongruous with what we know about him and how we know him to be, our little P-Jam Freddie. And I would love if she just like immediately judged and closed down. And I would love for her to have asked more questions about like what that period of, like maybe he was going through a rough patch. Like
maybe it was like Love in Other Words where like he was like really drunk and taken advantage of, like and he didn't know.
No, like for real, there's really it was so confusing and so shocking. I wish she had asked more questions like about the circumstances around it instead of just like labeling him as a cheater. Once a cheat, always a cheat.
And I just want to say, to me, she started pushing him away and picking fights after she saw Ollie.
Oh,
because
yeah, by the way.
before she saw Ollie, these two could have floated off in a cloud. They were so high.
And I just want to say, I don't like Ollie, but did Ollie clock her in the pods almost immediately? I was like, oh my God, this guy's writing her off because she says what kind of clubs she goes to. Now, that might be a reference that I don't understand because he literally knew exactly that she was materialistic, you know, goes out every night, like not really looking seriously to settle down and slow down your life, which is what I think a lot of the people who show up to this show are like, way to get a read on someone, Ollie, when seriously, I think Ollie's the worst.
Yeah. No, a lot of people read each other very quickly, like
Jasmine
and Sam loved that.
Just really, the last thing I want to say about Sam and Catherine, because I don't think they're going to get married and I don't think that they should.
Freddie and Catherine, if they get married, like I like call Freddie's funeral home because I'll need my burial.
No,
like
and I'm
I
sorry.
won't be okay.
When she went to his house and he like showed her his outfit that he wears for his funeral directing, like, I'm sorry. I love this man. And I know some people are like, funeral direct. Like, let me tell you,
you're yucky. You're yucky.
No, not only are you yucky, because like a living is a living. Tom, we'll get to that. A living is a living. Let me tell you what a stable, lucrative job that is. You know what never goes out of business? Death. Like it's kind of, yes, it's off the beaten path. It's when you're looking for a partner who's going to like provide for you, there's nothing more stable. You might as well like it's just as stable as like accounting, you know, death and taxes. Those are the two things people always can rely on. Like, I don't like how judgmental, when she was like telling her friends, she was like, clearly her friends are also judgmental. Like you could learn a lot about people, but based on who they hang out with. And they were like, a funeral director, excuse me. Like hate.
No, she's shallow. And if she were in another couple with someone else who had like red flags, I'd be like, oh, they can make it work, whatever.
I wouldn't
like,
find it so offensive.
Freddie is just like, we've never seen anyone like him on reality television, we as a society, and like he deserves the best. And she's not even she could be anyone who she wanted to be like before the show. And I feel that way about everyone. Like, I don't care what you did, Bobby's music video. Like, okay.
I agree.
When you show up to the show, like, who are you starting now when you say yes? And like, she has just fumbled the ball.
No, and you can tell she's like looking for fights because she wants a reason to say no.
Who would want a reason to say no?
It was really crazy to see her. Like, you know, girls are always like starting stuff, right? Like when they were shopping and she was like, so when we get married, like, will you want to come to the shops with me? And he was like, no, but like, I'll come with you and I'll sit like everyone else. Like you go to a department store, you always see guys sitting on the couch. He's like, I'll sit on the sofa and I'll wait for you. So in our life together, you won't want to go shopping with me.
I feel like I'm dragging you. Yeah, and then she like, and I really couldn't tell, does she want him to go shopping with her or not? What is the right answer?
No, that scene was really emblematic of her being the problem for sure.
Yeah, I feel like she saw life with Freddie as like, very boring. And I think she wants someone who like, once the show airs and they're on their Instagram trajectory, who's going to like milk it with her for all it's worth, like doing club appearances.
No.
Like she's in it for the club appearances.
Yes, it's becoming increasingly painful to watch because he's so precious and like every time I see him, I like want to cry. Like he talks about his family with such like respect and his job with such, even though they were laughing at his job, he's like, no, like it's not sad. Like I feel, the responsibility to take care of people at their lowest moments. Like he's so precious.
Oh, and he's the best looking person we've ever seen. We forgot to mention.
Literally, like everyone else on the show is a dog compared to this guy. You never saw someone so hot in your fucking life. And she's just really shallow. She can't even understand. Like he brought up the idea of a prenup. Like, if I pass away, I want everything to go to my sister. And she's immediately like, well, what about, like, she's not even thinking, it has something to do with, he loves his sister so much. He feels this like enormous responsibility to take care of his brother who has Down syndrome. And I'm sure that's what he was referring to. If she let him fucking finish his sentence and she's like gossiping with her friends, like he wants to leave his money to his sister.
He's already planning for when he leaves you. And by the way, it wasn't about when he leaves her. It was about in the event of his death.
No, seriously, like her and her friends were the blind leading the blind. I don't know how three people so shallow all found each other. Yeah. They're perfect for each other. They should get married.
There was one friend who seemed nice and she's just grouped in.
No, I think she's shallow too, but she had like a self-awareness to the fact that they're on TV.
Oh.
She's like, my parents are going to see this. Let me act normal for 35 seconds. Because you can't, you can't be friends with two people like that who are like, if you're so different.
Yeah.
So they're obviously like the main thing we're obsessed with, but there are a lot of honestly really good couples.
Strong couples.
In terms of strength, I think we all can agree like Steven and Sabrina are probably going to get married.
Yeah, but I was also saying this happens all the time on Love is Blind where like Steven and Sabrina is solid as a rock. And then they show up at the altar and then they're like, no.
Yeah.
And we never really get answers because they've just been like, I guess, faking it the whole time. I don't think that's what's going to happen. They seem perfect for each other.
Yeah. And if there is like a reason for them not to get married, it's that Fakak story he told about his like ex-girlfriend who had a terminally ill tumor. And then
she broke up with him in the middle
after
of treatment.
After months of like treatment and like her case getting worse. And then him saying, she broke up with me and she's also fine.
Yeah.
They never followed up on that. I have so many questions.
That to me was such a red flag. Like, your terminally ill girlfriend broke up with you.
No, not only that.
And then
she's
recovered.
Still alive. Right. Maybe you were seriously the tumor.
Or maybe she was like faking it to get rid of you and then you stayed. And so then she had to break up. I don't know.
And Sabrina's just like crying with him being like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with me. And it's like,
There's-
I have questions.
the thing. There's more to that story.
There is more. I have so many questions. But otherwise, I do think they're solid.
Yeah, like, I'm great. Moving on.
Someone who is extremely interesting to me is Alexa and Tom. From the beginning, I think
Alexa and Tom.
Oh, not Alexa.
Maria?
Maria. She reminds me of Alexa Lemieux. Like, so much confidence. Like, seriously, I'm obsessed with her level of confidence. And when we were watching the show, like, we immediately did not get good vibes from Tom in the pods. His age is definitely concerning. Like, you're 38 and this is how you want to meet someone. It's confusing. He's super judgmental, and that was coming through. And then he outright said probably one of the most judgmental things I've ever heard anyone say. Once he got out of the pods, they were talking about her job. She's a makeup artist. And by the way, she's the best sort of advertisement. If I go to the UK, like, I would literally book her. Her makeup is gorgeous.
Her makeup is gorgeous.
Always fresh, dewy. Even at the beach in Greece, I'm like, damn, what setting spray? She is really talented. And he was like, yeah, like, when I heard what you did, like, I found it, odd, because I really think that he's, quote, in his words, a high-powered PR executive. Okay, nobody high-powered says that they're high-powered, but nonetheless. And he was like, when I, first learned what you did, like, I was, it took me back a little bit because, that's kind of a deal breaker for me, someone who's not ambitious.
Yeah. What? Also,
I just want to say, there is nobody on the planet more ambitious than a makeup artist, like, running around town all day, lugging your kit. It's so physical. And then you also have this, like, artistry. And then you also have to be marketing.
Building up clients.
Oh my God. It was so judgmental. The fact that she didn't leave him in that minute, and I thought she handled it.
She has so much patience for him. Even in the pods, he was like saying all this stuff to the women about how, like, once they give birth, they've got to get back to work.
Yeah, she was like, by the way,
like, I would like to have like 1 year, 2 years at home with my babies. Like, I don't want to miss that. And he was like, I don't want to miss it either. Like,
he's obsessed with ambition.
Get back to work, Tom. No, but he wants to stay home too. It's like he literally wants to find a woman to, like, be his sugar mama, take care of him. Oh, yucky.
And then they also have, like, that issue where she kind of starts. It happened off camera, but they went to dinner, dinner date. He paid. The next morning they go out for breakfast. And she was like, oh, do you want me to get this one? And he was like, okay. And she seriously was so mad. So she had said she comes from, like, a really traditional background. Oh my God. And also, like, Love is Blind is so interesting because you, like, learn about things people have been through in their life that are so crazy, right? Yeah. When she told us how her dad died, I was like, oh, damn. She was like, oh, he had terminal cancer. I'm like, oh, that's sad. But that's literally not how he died. Like, she was like, he left they're from Morocco. He went to Morocco. He, like, knew he was going to die, and he went to
say his goodbyes.
He has a lot of family there. He has a big community. And seriously, lockdown started the next day. He was stuck in Morocco and just, like, passed away there.
Yeah.
Without any of the members of his family. Like, oh my God.
Awful.
Traumatizing. Like, and every time she talks about her dad, she starts crying. And I think obviously, like, losing a parent is triggering, but that's the craziest way to lose someone that, like, I don't think, and her sister too, when they went home, the sister brought up the dad, she immediately started crying. Like, that's seriously the craziest story I've ever heard. Like, I couldn't believe it. But back to her and Tom. Yes, they have this, like, weird, she's very traditional, and she, like, owns that too. She's like, I know this is, like, not okay to say, but, like, I think the man should be a provider. And she talks, like, because she, like, her cultural background is, like, that's the vibe. And, like, thank you. Like, that's just so honest. Yeah. She's so honest. She's also, like, handles awkward or uncomfortable situations so well. Like, the way she carries herself, I think, is admirable. Like when, what's her name? Tash. Yeah. He finally meets the other girl at the bar, and she lets them talk, like, for a good amount of time. And then it gets to a point where it's, like, actually disrespectful, the length. Yeah. And she just comes over and she's like, Tom, my feet hurt. Like, can we go find somewhere to sit? Like, okay, the balls of steel. Yeah. Admirable.
No, and you see it play out with so many other situations where they're, like, quivering, and then by the time they go over there, they, like, make such a big deal out of it, and everybody's, like, clocking, taking their temperature. It's just so awkward, and she just is a pro. Jasmine too. We love Jasmine. We'll get to her relationship, but that's not the main storyline about Jasmine. Like, no. Jasmine is a queen.
No, Jasmine and why do I keep almost calling her Alexa? No. Maria. That's been so interesting to also see, like, how women in the UK carry themselves. Like, that's what a strong woman looks like in the UK.
But I feel like we see strong women on Love is Blind a lot too.
Not like this.
Like Laura Jaramami.
Yeah, but it's Jarami. I feel like a strong, bold woman in the UK is different than a strong, bold woman in America.
I don't know, other than they have an accent.
No, I think the way that they carry themselves, like Jasmine and Maria really are so similar to me in the way they carry themselves. Like, they, like, project this persona, and that's how people see them. Like, it's so convincing, and it's so, I don't know it's like strong, but it's a different word. Like, they're just, like, very smart.
Yeah, it's really nice to watch. And also, like, Tom, I hope that they don't get married. They're talking as if they are going to, but like, I don't think that they're right for each other. I think that he's a prick.
Yeah.
And that she deserves someone better and warmer and kinder. And even though she like laughs off all of his barbs and like he's sarcastic and mean, we did see that afterwards she cried about the makeup artist thing. Even though like in the moment she handled herself like with so much grace, she's still holding his hand. Like, how strong are you to not like give him the reaction that he wants? And then like she goes and cries. You cannot marry that person.
No, they're really not right for each other. And I just can't believe he said that on TV. I can only imagine.
Right, like, and they don't film them in their apartments that much. So what? They had 1 hour of filming, and that's what he decides to say. Like, he's a scary mean person.
And you know that millions of people are going to see that. So that's obviously like not the worst thing that you say.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what he says to her when the cameras are off. Like, seriously, I'm thinking of her.
And in a situation like that, like they're really acting like they're going to get married. So are they just acting because like this is a show and the big if is if they're going to say yes or no? So she's getting us to the finish line, or like, is she really going to marry this person? Because she's talking about how she wants a seat at the table for her dad at their wedding. Like, are you going to have a reception?
I know. Let's talk about Jasmine and Bobby. We love Jasmine.
Love. Oh my gosh. Every girl in the pod. I feel like, I mean, this is also just like my perspective, but I just feel like everyone's been impacted by Jasmine and like her tutelage. You know, everyone
we are
needs
all like
a friend like Jasmine, one like for the advice, but I just also feel like the way that she carries herself and the way she like it dresses so great.
She's
and
really
always,
a girl's
like,
girl.
Done to the nines. And I feel like she's just like someone you would want in your bunk and whose like clothes you would be stealing.
Who would like give you confidence that you would bring with you to the school year.
And whose bed you'd always be sitting on. Like 1000%. She has the best stories.
She borrows she lets you borrow her clothes.
Yeah. And now you know she gets it from her mom, which best character
Agreed.
On the show.
They were hyping up her mom so much. I'm like, what is she going to be? Like, she was more than I expected. Like, seriously, she was hysterical.
And like pretty factual to like all the concerns that she has, like are legit concerns. One, that the process is concerning, but like, I think you have to set that aside and trust that your child hasn't gone off the rails. And that like, if they do marry this person within a month, like they just happen to get it right.
Right.
But then you have to talk about the person. Like, can you provide for my daughter? Where are you going to live? Like, these are legit questions. And I feel like the thing we know least about Jasmine is about her relationship with Bobby. Like, I thought that they were kind of like not a strong couple, but like she's a strong woman and I'm enjoying watching their storyline. But then they had that conversation for the last date before the weddings and like they're getting married. Yeah,
no, they just have been like coasting and we don't know a lot about them. But I actually think they're really well suited for each other because Jasmine is a really like a strong type of personality, right? She kind of is alpha and he's like a little beta and it kind of works.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it'd be nice for her to get someone who's like, you know, big personality, make lots of money, but you can't have like two hotheads in a relationship like that. And there's really only room for Jasmine in that relationship. And I think Bobby fits kind of perfectly in her life. And I kind of like him. I think he really likes her.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't?
No, she's fabulous. And I think he like appreciates what we appreciate about her. He just kind of like sits back and lets her shine. And I like kind of love her.
Yeah. I think that they're so great.
I think there's a chance that they say yes to one another.
After what they said, their conversation before weddings was the most convincing thing I ever saw because they were the only couple not talking about the wedding day. They were talking about their future together. It wasn't about like, if I say yes, who's sitting where? It was like, and about my dress is for you. It was about like, she used the word, our love is eternal. That person's getting married or she deserves an Oscar.
Yeah. The last couple is Demi and Ollie, who I think up until
another one that literally I'm like, are they going to say yes?
No,
I think like, they are.
Are they going to be together forever or is one of them going to kill the other? Like, it's so confusing. They had the roughest, I think, start post pods, but they've kind of taken a back seat in the last couple of episodes, just like being stable. I think a lot of us felt like Ollie didn't like, and I think a lot of the girls were receiving that too, because Jasmine in Greece is like, if you don't like her, just be honest. And he's like acting one way, but saying something completely different. So it's really confusing for her and for everyone else watching. It's like, you say you're committed, you say you've never been happier, you say she's the only girl for you, but your body language, the things you're saying, the way you're acting is weird.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the girls are picking up on things that we can't pick up at home.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, Demi, what's wrong with you? Demi, you feel different. Demi, you're not the girl we met.
And it's not just like they're being annoying because then later in the season, when they're out together again, they're like,
we're back.
They're like, you feel like you again, you know? So they're not just like looking for stuff.
No. And she, like at points she makes me really sad because she admits that she, you know, is kind of this insecure person and this process has made her even more insecure. And I don't know, I feel like every time she's on my screen, she's a different person.
Yeah.
Like I think that in her own life, she was going through something and then the timing of the show like didn't help. I think we're watching someone like actively go through something and I don't even know what that thing is.
Yeah.
And then with Ollie, it's like, it was so bad. I'm like, these two could never. But then like with the families meeting, like, I don't know, it's like kind of going well.
It's going well.
And I'm like confused.
Like, are they about to get married?
Yeah. And it is really interesting, like kind of the elephant in the room is like, this is the first time, maybe not the first time, but I think Love is Blind, while the concept is good, the one thing they really don't breach on is people of different weights. And I think that there have been a few instances where there is someone, usually a girl, who is, you know, because everyone that they cast, like while they all look different, they're all like kind of, you know, equal.
On the same league.
Yeah. And weight is a thing in relationships, right? Like people won't date someone who's not in shape, especially if like fitness is a big part of your life. And I feel like they never really get into that. The couple of like, when I think of plus size people who have been on the show, it's like Alexa, right? And Alexa met a man who seriously like could not be more obsessed with her if he tried. It's like kind of a fairy tale scenario. I think if you're a plus size person who's been on dates, like, you know that that's not the case most of the time. Last season, there was Chelsea, right? Who was like, was plus size. It never got brought up. And she kind of self-sabotaged before it could even be a conversation. So they've never really, I think, tackled that. And I think it's, I mean, I feel awkward even like saying these things. Like it's kind of like a big thing. And I see people who are like talking about it on TikTok who talk about their experience dating as a plus size person. It's like, it's such a thing in dating. And, you know, it's usually like if a man is overweight, like nobody fucking cares.
No.
I'm talking about women. And so Demi, I think, is coming, like she's like having this experience in real time. And that's why when she went on the wedding dress shopping excursion, she ended up like giving this sort of like lecture to everyone, like this moment of empowerment. And it's because like, she's like, yeah. And I think like Ollie like really loves her. I think.
You think?
And I think she was like realizing that at the dress ceremony, and she's like, look at me, I'm trying on dresses on TV, which is like something I would never do.
Yeah. No, and she's acknowledged, even before she met Ollie, she was like worried about what she looked like and how he would react to that. But then he also said like she's got curves in all the right places.
Right.
And she is so beautiful. So I feel like they discussed that. I think the issue with Ollie and Demi is like, even if Ollie was giving her all the assurance that she needed, which he's not, and I do feel like at points he was gaslighting her.
Yep.
Not anymore, since they've been back in London. Might just like be easier to like stay apart until they say no. I have no idea. And they like hanging out with each other's friends, so that's good. Even if he was doing all of that, like Demi's insecurities are going to sabotage this relationship because like she's really like not giving off positive energy, like especially on the honeymoons, like
Dre Cup.
Yeah. And that's just like not the vibe for a honeymoon. Like you want to be like smiley and
the
cheery
energy
and not like this storm cloud. So like I feel like she was right to feel that way most of the time because he was being confusing, but she was not helping her case with her energy of just like grumpy cat.
Yeah.
However, she is so much happier now. And now it's like, okay, she is that like positive ray of light. And so I do see their relationship differently. And like, maybe they will go all the way.
Yeah. I think there's a chance, but she's so crazy.
Yeah. I think it would be crazy if they said yes. Just like,
no,
just like what? Like,
no, and they're genuinely like not well suited for each other. Like,
yeah. And I think Demi deserves
like
different
a nice
and
man.
better and more.
No,
and
Ollie
someone
is,
who will give her like that affection and stuff. She's always just like asking for more and like,
no, and
it
Ollie's
shouldn't
acting,
be that way.
and every now and then you see like his mask slip a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
when he was
got
like
up.
talking about Charlotte. I could say Charlotte's gorgeous fire. Also like Charlotte.
Like I think
everybody loves Charlotte.
No, and when we were watching the pods, I'm like, who is that girl?
Yeah.
Like she kind of like busted through the lens with like her personality, and she was so cute looking.
Charlotte, I don't think she said one. I still don't think she said one word. You just see her in the background, like working out or journaling, and it's like, who's that?
Wait, I'm sorry, we forgot about Nicole and Benaya.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually really like them as a couple, but it needs to be said that like I don't think Nicole is okay. Like seriously, how anyone could choose Sam and not only and I know Benaya really struggled to verbalize it, and maybe he didn't do it enough because he was just like, listen, I don't think he's here for genuine reasons. Like what he should have said is he called you fat. Like
no, because he didn't. Because how can he call her fat when he hasn't seen her?
Insinuated.
What he should have said is like, he won't love you if you're fat. Like he was worried about a comment that you made. But I don't know what the right way to go about it is.
Like Jasmine said something to him about it. Benaya, two people who I think she really respects, and she still chose him.
Yeah, well, I think I'm trying to like empathize with her because I feel like with Benaya, the connection was really strong, but like he was sort of like giving
nothing,
non-committed. Like if she chooses him, will he choose her and will he propose? I feel like she didn't have that assurance. And she's someone who really wants to be in love, like really wants to be married, a very serious girl. And she has this other guy. Here's Sam saying everything you want to hear. Now us, as the viewer, we can see he said that to everyone. We can see he's full of shite. Like more than anyone who's ever been on TV before. He's the most
an anomaly
transparent person.
to me.
He will say anything. Literally
he is so strange.
anything to stay on the show and get married. And like, we can see that. But for her who just wants to feel loved, it's like, wow, this man is saying everything. And like, she doesn't even have, it's only hearing it through a wall. You can't get intonation or genuine. You really have to trust. And if she's not trusting the process, what is she doing there?
I also think she's just someone who doesn't have like good instinct.
But like immediately when she saw him, she could feel that something was off and like that he is not genuine. He's literally just saying whatever.
The reveals, like seriously, will never cease to make me so uncomfortable. Like even the best ones, right?
No, the
like,
best ones, there's nothing better than a best.
Like I think of some of the best ones as being like Lauren and Cameron and
Amber
Alexa.
and Barnett.
I don't remember that one. I remember Alexa and Brennan. Like seriously,
I didn't watch that season.
Jackie, I can't believe you didn't watch that season. It's seriously the best one.
Maybe I'll watch it.
Okay, so Benaya and Nicole, I actually do think that they're well suited for one another. I don't think they'll get married.
I think they should get married. I think they're perfect together.
I think she'll say yes.
And he'll say no.
I don't know.
Even though he was crying in Germany.
To his mom, yeah.
I think they should both say yes.
Not us learning so much about the UK just in time for us to see that graphic. Like, it's kind of gorgeous.
No, and so
she's
Sabrina's
from
Ireland. They had to take a plane.
Belfast.
Then the Irish Sea, the mom's worried about because he works in London.
Right. Benaya, right. Benaya is from the north. He goes north for his landscape. Oh, that's the other thing culturally.
He goes north.
We are learning so much about different jobs that don't exist.
Oh my God, we're trying to figure out what Demi does. It's a supervisor to the attendants.
She's the supervisor of the attendance team. And what that means, okay, so we looked it up. In a school,
my guess was HR.
Not right. So in a school, there's a thing called like an attendance manager or team of attendants, whatever. And they like look out for
like
kids.
Like a truant officer?
I don't know what that is. They look out for kids
like
who are chronically absent. And
that's a truant officer.
Demi is the supervisor of those
the attendance team.
Attendants.
That feels like a very specific way for them to write it on TV when it could have been like
school counselor or something.
School worker.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a superintendent. Maybe she's so if anybody knows like what the US word for that is, we're like, also what does Bobby do?
Luxury shopping guide on a cruise.
No,
I looked that up.
You guys are so hung up about the thing that he said about cruises. But I feel like that was something he did one time. I was getting like a below deck vibe. That's just me.
No, I looked it up. It's like a thing on cruises. Like your job is to help people shop. And it's like you work in sales, like you make commission.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of confusing. And Jasmine is a mental health nurse.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. I've not heard of that. So what's the equivalent? Counselor?
Yeah.
Counselor snitch.
Jasmine
would be the most amazing counselor. Like, give me all your advice.
Catherine is a dental nurse. That's easy.
Yeah.
Freddie is a funeral director. Yeah. The jobs, though, that's super interesting to me.
Tom is PR. Maria is makeup
artist.
Sabrina?
I don't remember.
Steven?
I know owns a gym.
Right. CrossFit.
With his buddies.
Right. Nicole?
Corporate lawyer. Like she has a big high pay.
She's
like a big swing in. Yeah. She makes a lot of money.
Nice.
Benaya, structural landscaper. Whatever that, gardener? Like what is that?
I think that's like, landscaper. It could be, you could be like the architect of landscaping. So, you could be the actual
that show
scaper.
On Bravo where they had like those backyard designers?
Yeah. I think that's what he does. Yeah. Like a landscaper.
Yeah. But like a landscaper can mean a million things.
But maybe like structural. So what, like if I want to build a portico chair.
Yeah.
I would call Benaya. I would love one.
Or like that guy with the commercials, Cambridge, paving stones with Armor-Tech. They always look like new.
Or like if I wanted a Zen garden.
Right. Or if you were like building patio with an outdoor fireplace or something. Someone who comes in and like structures your landscape. Like,
I literally need a structure. I have a lot of plans.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I actually have been
What if you just called Benaya
I've been looking for the term for the person that I'm looking for. And thank you, Love is Fine UK. I think I'm looking for a structural landscaper. Like I need my Zen garden for my cold plunge in my garden.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm going to start a garden when I get home. Are you excited?
I am.
Are you guys excited to hear about it? It's going to be great. I have a green thumb.
The weddings come out, I think, on the 21st, Wednesday, I think. We will keep you abreast. If you haven't watched, honestly, I can't recommend it enough. It's one of the best seasons of TV I've seen in a while.
Most of you watch Love is Blind. So if you're into that vibe trope, this is such a good one. Like so many great cast of characters, and you'll be introduced to Freddie, who's like seriously the best person we've ever seen on TV.
Agreed.
Like if not for Freddie alone. And I just need like a lifetime of happiness for him with Molly May.
Agreed.
And like, I'm sure Molly May is like down in the dumps watching Love is Blind UK.
she should slide into his Instagram. Although we looked at his Instagram and it leaves much to be desired. So maybe don't look at it. He's obviously like not had the royal treatment yet.
Yeah.
He needs to go through his old social media posts stat.
Okay, well now are you ready for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know?
If it's the Fast 5 stories that you need to know that are brought to you by Built Rewards. Listen up if you rent. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in this endless loop of rent payments, just basically watching your money vanish into thin air? Well, it's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards, and that's where Built Rewards comes in. So Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. So every month, pay your rent, and you'll basically just watch the Built points roll in. It is the easiest reward system because you're already paying rent. I have been a Built Rewards member for like 2 years, maybe even more actually. I want to say like 3 years now.
Oh, turkey.
So you can use your points to jet off on a dream vacation, put your points towards a flight or a hotel. They have over 500 airline partners and over 700,000 hotel and property partners. You can also use your points in different ways to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards a future rent payment. They're basically designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. No matter how you pay your rent, I know you're thinking, well, oh, this is cool, but my rent. No, you'll be able to do it. They have consistently been ranked the highest point value currency by The Points Guy and Bankrate. So earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/toast. That's joinbilt.com/toast. Make sure to use our link so they know that we sent you. It's joinbuilt.com/toast to start earning points with your rent payments today. Literally the best way to pay your rent. It's just hands down. Join Built. You won't regret it. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. And Game Time, as you guys know, a big partner here, the best way to get tickets. They have a new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets for concerts and events even easier. So Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. So as you guys know, we love Game Time for so many reasons. I personally, the best thing about it is the all-in pricing. When you toggle that feature, you'll be shown the ticket price up front. So there'll be no surprise fees at checkout. I think a lot of times you find a ticket that's like decent price. By the time you get to end, it's almost double in price because of like hidden fees. Well, I love that Game Time lets you see all-in pricing. Also, you're going to get your seat views. You're going to get the lowest price guarantee. They've got the Game Time ticket coverage. But this new feature, the Game Time Picks, is really fabulous because the curation makes it easier to save more on sports, comedy, theater, and more, and just filtering out tickets that are like seriously never going to happen. But the Game Time ticket coverage is also fabulous too because your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry, and they have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code TOAST for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. So again, create an account, redeem our code TOAST for $20 off. Download Game Time today. It's last minute tickets, it's lowest prices, and
it's guaranteed.
Thank you, Jackie. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quince. Shifting our wardrobes from summer to fall. It's coming up, you guys. That time is almost here. What's the opposite of spring cleaning? Like fall cleaning. Spring, summer joggers.
Fall haul.
Spring, summer joggers. It's always a challenge that time of year, but luckily Quince offers timeless and high quality items that we adore, ensuring our wardrobe stays fresh and that we don't blow our budget. So Jax and I have really been into, investing in good quality clothing these last couple of years. I think there was a time in our lives, to be young, where you really treat clothes disposable. You buy like the crappiest, cheapest stuff that you can buy. Now it's very much buying less items, but more high quality items. And Quince is a great place to do that because they're super affordable. They offer cashmere sweaters from $50. They've got pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part is that all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do that by partnering directly with top factories. They're cutting out the cost of the middleman, and then they're passing the savings on to you. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, which we love. I have so many fabulous items from Quince that I wear all the time on the toast. The cardigan I've been wearing all summer. I've got great cashmere sweaters. I've got great trousers that are good for like more fancy, like business attire type of things. So make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/toast and you'll get free shipping on your order and returns for 365 days. Yeah, that's right. You heard that right. That's only when you go to quince.com/toast, QUINCE.com/toast to get free shipping and 365-day returns only at quince.com/toast.
Thank you, Sush Turd.
You're welcome.
Our first story, an update from what we spoke about Friday, which turned out to be like a big fat nothing lie.
A big lie.
Dakota Johnson flashes her massive emerald engagement ring at Paparazzi after shutting down Chris Martin's split rumors. So Dakota and Chris are still together. That story that was reported everywhere, not even just like us getting it wrong.
It was fact.
It was not fact.
No, but like it was reported as fact.
It was reported as fact. Yeah, it wasn't like a theory. They're still together, going strong.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Why does that happen? Like nobody even, it's not even like they're often reported on. It's not like Ben and Jen.
Right.
So.
Who, by the way, I'm getting so fatigued with. Like I like don't even want you to choose them as stories anymore.
I don't choose them as stories. Like until the filing, I don't choose it as a story. Of course, they're certainly they're split up. Like he's there, even though she was at Jennifer Garner's house. Every once in a while, they do something to like throw off the scent.
She was just at the mall with one of the Affleck kids. Like, if you're a step parent for such a short period of time and the kids are much older, like,
and they have a very involved mother,
like do you hang out with them post divorce? No.
So they're trying to throw off the scent until the filing happens. We won't be talking about it. Happy to know Dakota and Chris are still together. Like, I definitely wasn't happy to hear that they had split.
Same.
And it took some of my serotonin away, and now I can put it back.
No, I really like these two, and it's like they're such a stable force in Hollywood. I think they have a lot of really famous friends. I think people really like them, like in the culture, but also in Hollywood itself. So I'm so glad that they're not broken up. Although I was excited about the prospect of Dakota Johnson being back on the dating scene. Like we have to take her off our list.
I wasn't even, because I don't think she would ever be dating someone like as interesting to us, and he's like as Chris Martin. Like I feel like the next person she dated would be like a true person we don't know anything about, or like an indie artist. Like I'm glad it's like the big indie artist, the biggest of them. You know,
no, I'm so happy that this was a lie.
It's not like she's going out with Zac Efron.
But the low state of entertainment journalism, like how is it so widely reported, confirmed that two people broke up who are literally together?
Right. And I'm obsessed with this picture of her flashing her ring, looking at the paparazzi like, you stupid idiots.
You know, she's not even smiling. She's like
dumbass.
Yeah, it's like it's giving condescending in the best possible way. They could never make me hate her.
Nobody does condescension like Dakota Johnson.
Nobody. That's not true, Ellen. Well, that's not true.
Constantly people are lying about her.
It's so true.
Like, why? And
I would feel bad for her, but I don't think there's a person more privileged on the planet.
No.
Like, seriously, born into Hollywood royalty, became the face of one of the biggest movie franchises in history without like, ever acting a day in her life.
Before it even came out, it was $1 billion movie. There was no question that it was going to be.
And I want to say something, and it's going to sound mean, but it's not, because I love her. Like, Dakota Johnson, like, literally can't act. Like, it's insane. She did such a bad job in that movie. Like, the whole time I was like, oh, this is a woman acting community theater. I love how like she literally doesn't give a fuck. She did Madam Web, like one of the worst movies ever made, went on tour and was like, totally agree with you guys. This movie is horrible. It sounds like it was written by AI. Like she's so real for that.
No, she keeps it real.
They could never make me hate her.
Yeah, no, it must be nice to be Dakota Johnson.
Like seriously, what does Dakota worry about? Now I know everyone's life is their own behind closed doors, la 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 la. Nobody's life is perfect. I do feel like Dakota Johnson's is extremely close.
Even like her, you know, what would be beef with the ex-wife, Gargi relationship, a best friend for life.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'm sure, you know, Dakota Johnson has demons. I'm sure Dakota Johnson has things.
The hardest thing that's ever happened to Dakota is still the hardest thing that ever happened to her.
Just because you're drowning in 60 feet of water and I'm drowning in 10 feet of water doesn't mean I'm not drowning, for sure. Mm-hmm. Although I would like to just take a swim in Dakota's pool. Like she's one of the people.
It's like temperature perfect. It probably doesn't have chlorine. It's definitely like a saltwater pool.
And she's really gorgeous. And she's so unique looking too. Like I feel like all these bitches today, like everybody looks the same. Even the most beautiful girls. I'm like, I could tell you 3 girls who look like that. Not to be like a woman hater. She is so unique looking. She doesn't look like anyone that I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love her. And she stays winning. She's so rich. She's so famous and she does nothing. Like she literally tries so little. I love it.
Yeah. It's nice like that. There should be people out there like that.
Yeah. You know? To the balance, like the equilibrium or whatever.
Exactly.
I love her.
So happy to report they're still together.
Right. And it's like, even when there was bad Dakota news, it never existed. Like that's the kind of life she lives.
Totally. Our next person, story was probably someone who we would have said all those things about 3 weeks ago, but now like things have taken a nosedive for Blake Lively.
It's not fun anymore.
No.
You know, I saw it was a TikTok. It was from Amanda Hirsch. She was like, seriously, this is like, I was having fun. Like now we're like really canceling people. I'm out.
No, I totally agree. Blake Lively is now being called out again for repeatedly using a problematic transgender slur in resurfaced interviews. So a quote from her 2012 interview with Elle, and from what I've seen, it's a text quote. It's not her saying this on video or anything, but she
gave
a quote to Elle saying, I hope to have a few girls one day. Oh, this is also funny knowing that she like has so many girls. Mm-hmm. She said, quote, I hope to have a few girls one day. If not girls, they'd better be.
You guys know the word for transgender that rhymes with granny.
Like it's not productive if you don't know the word.
No, for sure. It's hard to report on like when people like have, drama with slurs because you guys are like, what slur?
Right. Like when it was SPAZ.
Right.
That was a really confusing one.
It was. Now, I want to say something because...
Wait, so she said, if not girls, they better be grannies because I have some amazing shoes and bags and stories that need to be appreciated.
So she uses the word not derogatory at all. I think she's like hoping for one, you know? It's important to note, and the reference that I always use, and I'm sure everyone's tired of me saying it, is Sex and the City, right? Is there a show that celebrates the LGBTQ plus community more? Is there literally written and created by a gay man? Like you can't say Sex and the City is homophobic or transphobic, right? They use that word in a couple of episodes where Samantha has those ladies outside her window who like won't be quiet at night. And there was a time where that is how, you know, the community was referenced. I think RuPaul has spoken about it at length. It's a word he uses all the time. He loves it. And he like won't give it up and he doesn't find it offensive. I do think it's like, we are now currently living in the era of like post, but there was an era where it was okay.
Yeah.
As with a lot of things, as with just like language and culture.
Fergie, let's get it started.
Right. And like, I'm sorry, in high school, like you could not stop me using that word. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like I used it all the time.
Entourage,
they use the R word
Friends,
all the time.
F word.
Yep.
R word, T word.
No, Friends, they don't use the F word. They use
F. You said they do. Entourage, they get
in Entourage. Yeah, Entourage season 1. Every other word is the F slur or the R slur. Like, and it was the culture at the time. So now we're just, and this is what I was saying at the beginning. Like, I'm no longer having fun with the It Ends With Us drama because now like someone's being canceled. That's like seriously not what I signed up for. I don't participate in like going back to people's, you know, tweets, interviews. She said this publicly. It wasn't like she was caught on record saying it privately. Like, this is a time where using a word like that was okay. She's actually using it in a complimentary way.
Right. The magazine published it. They didn't asterisk it out that she said a slur.
Yep. So like
they wouldn't print a slur.
I have officially like stopped participating in the It Ends With Us drama. And I think I literally invented the drama. Like I'm not having fun anymore. Like for real.
Yeah.
This isn't so not where I wanted it to go. And this has nothing to do with me being Team Blake. This is just, I don't participate in cancel culture like this. Like I don't participate.
No, and this is textbook cancel culture. Like this is 14 years ago, a word that at the time, again, was not starred out in this interview. Elle magazine printed this. People saw it. It wasn't an issue at the time because it was before people really took umbrage with that word in a mainstream way. Like I'm sure at the time there were people who were offended by that word, but the general public like did not know that. Mm-hmm. And like, it was a different time.
Listen,
there are a lot of things that occur at different times, and like those people's feet are not held to the fire. There is a lot of grace for that. It just depends who it is. And I don't play that like this person can get away with it and that person can't.
Agreed. Like seriously, this is so not fun. This is so not what I want to be talking about. Like, oh my God, times change. Like that's it. Times change. Like things are different. That was 12 years ago. Oh my God, not being able to do math.
What did I say?
I don't know.
I think I said 14. Because I was like,
maybe that's why it was in my head.
So I was like, should I say 15?
Right. No, 2024, 2012, 12 years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no. And if Blake Lively had like a history of being like, you know, beating up trans folks, like maybe this would be cause for concern. She seems lovely. I think she's probably accepting of all types of people. And I don't give a fuck. How about that?
Yeah. No, this is a serious, serious reach.
This is a serious reach. And like we've gotten to like, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And I just like, I'm sorry. This is my thesis on life. Ready? Nobody hates women more than women. Like this is we started here because like everyone in the cast was wary of Justin Baldoni. Like it was clear like everybody had beef with him, right? This is where we got to. And don't get me wrong, like this is a story. This is the only people who care about what's going on in It Ends With Us are women.
Right.
So we have gotten to a place now where this is what we're doing to Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Like you're just never going to catch me doing this. Like seriously, this is such embarrassing behavior. Touch grass.
Yeah, I think now like Blake Lively's probably just going to lay low. And
she should, seriously.
Yeah. I think the press tour is probably over or it should end and like people need to move on.
I'm sorry. I really can't get into this. And I know people like don't like what I'm saying and I actually don't care. Like we are being so critical and so hard on how like Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively are promoting this movie. Like I have never seen such a critical analysis of how a film, so many movies tackle serious issues. Some movies tackle more serious issues. There are Holocaust movies made, right? Like, have we ever sat back and been like, I don't like how George Clooney is promoting this movie? Like, we have literally never done that. And we're only like, and so it's, I just.
Yeah, you guys know how we feel at this point, but just letting you know, like, it's really taken a crazy turn.
Yeah, no, I'm done now.
Yeah, until further notice.
I'm going to be real with you. You look like clowns, in the words of Kim Kardashian. Like, going back, this is just behavior I don't participate in. I don't.
Yeah. Next story, Barry Keoghan shares a rare photo with his son, Brando, amid Sabrina Carpenter breakup rumors. So a lot going on in the Sabrina sphere. First of all, her album comes out this week, short and sweet. So cute. I'm so excited for Sabrina.
Agreed.
Then also it was like, came out yesterday that her and Barry have like an on-off again relationship. Like it's not solid as a rock.
Well, and it came out that they were broken up and then it was like, no, they're actually just like always like breaking up.
Right. So I think right now they're like in and off. Okay. This is a relationship that like I'm happy to cheer for. You won't find me crying when it ends because I didn't see Saltburn. So like, to me, like Sabrina, like stream Skim, like I would love to see her with Zac Efron.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like I champion Sabrina, right? Like I'm a fan of Sabrina. If Sabrina's happy, I'm happy. And I love that she was dating Barry like at the height of Saltburn, right? Like Barry Keoghan was the name on everybody's lips for a brief period. And like that's when she was dating him. I do feel like some of like the Saltburn hype has like worn off and now she needs to date someone like a little bit more relevant.
I agree. Like now she's keeping him afloat by
Like,
putting him in her music videos.
Right. Who is somebody everybody's talking about right now besides Justin Baldoni?
And Zac Efron. Like for me, it's Zac Efron.
No, I know, but who's like having a moment right now? Like,
Let's go to the list.
No, he's not going to be on the list. The person I'm thinking of, like, what's a TV show? Like,
Freddie.
She needs to date Freddie.
Glenn Powell.
Well, Glenn Powell actually just went to a Tate McRae concert. You know, they like hang out a lot. And I feel like they're cute. Even though she's dating someone.
Jeremy Allen White, who is Barry Keoghan.
Oh my God, wait. Jeremy Allen White and Sabrina Carpenter, like that is what dreams are made of.
Knowing she like wouldn't even have to change anything. She like it's the same person.
She still wear
probably have the same size clothes. Like she could just like
there's like a Barry Keoghan sized hole in her bed, and Jeremy Allen White fits perfectly.
Yeah.
He just has like a little bit more hair.
Yeah.
I also didn't know that Jeremy Allen White.
And he's in a series, not a movie, so it's like continuing fame.
Wait, they're literally the same person because I didn't know Barry Keoghan like had kids, and if I did, like I just like didn't care. So does Jeremy Allen White, his daughter.
And Barry has a 2-year-old. So like that's like little.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know. Like that he was recently like in
Involved,
a serious relationship. Right. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I think if you were to look deeply at his like previous relationship timeline, like it wouldn't be favorable.
Yeah, like I don't know if
him.
it cues him up for Sabrina to be like the one. And now it makes more sense like on and off. And I'm sure like and his time is not his own with a 2-year-old.
Correct. And maybe the 2-year-old drove a wedge between him and Sabrina.
As it should.
Not to blame her.
Him, Brando, cute name. And he's so cute. But like as it should, because like you can't be like with your girlfriend who's taking over the world and you can't go with her to take over the world. But like you have a 2-year-old.
Yeah. No, it's true.
If you want to be present.
I just want to say like I personally like now I'm just so championing her and Jeremy Allen White.
Like you can't see anything else.
I can't see anything else. Although he was connected to Rosalita, jump a little higher. I don't know if that's still a thing. I think it might be because like they really, I think, bonded over their love of cigarettes. Like they really did.
Well, Sabrina smokes. Sabrina could smoke.
Yeah, if she wanted to. I could so see Sabrina vaping.
I don't know if Sabrina smokes. So I shouldn't have said Sabrina smokes. But like anybody could pick up a cigarette and start smoking.
Right. Like you're not special because you smoke.
I actually think that if Sabrina smoked, she would smoke cigarettes because she's all like vintagey.
It's true.
I think that like e-cigs are like too modern for her aesthetic.
When you're a singer, it's like tough to smoke, and every now and then I'll like find out that like someone smokes and it really shocks me.
No, but it's
Lady
like,
Gaga.
It makes your voice kind of gargy.
Well, it depends what your aesthetic is. I think Lady Gaga, like the rasp behooves the music. Sabrina's very like vocally feathered.
Yeah, like Ari can't be chain smoking.
No. Lady Gaga can chain smoke.
Harry Styles, I think, smokes.
And I think it works.
And of course, like Amy Winehouse smoked, and I think, her voice was...
Yep, better off.
Yeah. I'm sure it would have been gargy anyway, but it was like the vibe.
It was the vibe, right?
And it's not Sabrina's like Sabrina's aesthetic vibe, perchance.
But not audio.
No.
Audibly.
I feel like she really has to preserve her voice. Yeah. I feel like Barry Keoghan probably smokes.
1000%.
Yeah.
You can always tell like when an actor or actress smokes, like, because if they have to do it in like cause he smoked, I think, in her music video, and it was like so natural. But sometimes you see him like, you definitely don't smoke.
Yeah.
Like you're not like doing the vibe right. Or you're just like a weenie.
And a lot of people are that.
It's so true. Is that a transition to a story about a weenie?
No. Oh. No. But it is time for our next story, which is our fourth story.
Oh my God, our fourth story?
The fourth.
Perchance brought to you by Masterclass?
Perchance it is.
With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. So Masterclass is a streaming platform and the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. You can access Masterclass on your phone, your computer, your smart TV, or even in audio mode. So they have, like, when you think of whatever it is that you do for a living, like for us, we watched the Kris Jenner one. It was everything. But they have, like, seriously the world's greatest when it comes to, like, chefs, when it comes to acting, when it comes to business, Bob Iger. Like, they get the best of the best and they sit them down and ask them every question and they give advice on every possible thing that you could possibly want. And it's so brilliant. It's like actually such a great concept for a company. And I loved the Kris Jenner one because she's so us, like building a platform, digital first, social media heavy. And we really got some like great actual tangible advice. And if there's ever somebody that you've like looked up to and been like, I would love to ask them a question, like there might be a masterclass with them and you should really check it out. So they help you build your confidence through humor. You can do that like with comedy icon Kevin Hart. You can use improv to overcome your fears like Amy Poehler, turn your passion into achievements with the cultural icon herself, Martha Stewart. The classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. It's also a great thing to gift to someone who's like really invested in either like business or acting or art, whatever it is. Right now, our listeners are going to get an additional 15% off an annual membership at masterclass.com/toast. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/toast, masterclass.com/TOAST. Today's episode is also brought to you by Horoscope Weekly. Hello, Toasters. Jackson Claude here, and we want to share a podcast with you called Horoscope Weekly. It's hosted by the brilliant author and astrologer Eliza Kelly, and Horoscope Weekly takes you on an insightful and personalized cosmic journey. So every week, Eliza is going to interpret the latest astrological events, bringing you cosmic insights for the week ahead, along with detailed guidance on what you should expect this week based on your unique zodiac sign. Plus, you're getting tailored advice across love, career, health, and more. So whether you're an astrology enthusiast or a curious newcomer, let Horoscope Weekly with Eliza be your guide through the stars. New episodes are released every Monday, so wherever you get your podcast, just search Horoscope Weekly with Eliza Kelly for more. Today's episode is also brought to you by HelloFresh. From the planning, the shopping, and the prepping to actually getting everyone to enjoy the meal that you made, family dinners can be really stressful, and HelloFresh gets it. They make it easy by delivering fresh ingredients and picky eater approved recipes right to your door each week. So with a changing menu of over 50 recipes to choose from, HelloFresh makes it easy to always find something the whole family will love. Whether you're cooking for a family, cooking for yourself, or you're, just getting into cooking like myself, HelloFresh is so idiot-proof. I have loved every HelloFresh meal I've made. I've made like tons over the last couple of months. I'm not a cook. I'm not also like into trying new things when it comes to meals. And I feel like I can always find HelloFresh meals. It's like what I've been reserved about and like hesitant to try, something like HelloFresh. And HelloFresh is always like having Turdy approved meals. They should literally have a section called Turdy approved because I've tried so many that I love, like Mexican street corn pasta, delicious. And I made it. Like, that's a crazy thing. I literally made it. It's idiot proof. If you are cooking for your family, I think that can be so challenging when it comes to finding meals that everybody likes and then also not taking 4 hours out of your day to prepare something. So HelloFresh's easy to follow recipes include pre-portioned ingredients. They are delivered fresh, so no last minute grocery store run is required. Choose your delivery day, open your box, and just get to cooking. I had such a fabulous experience with it. And if you're looking for like a little bit of a discount, check it out. Look, for a limited time, kids are going to eat free. When you go to HelloFresh.com/toastkids, you're going to unlock this exclusive offer. So one free kids meal per box for 2 months while subscription is active. That's a free kids meal just by going to HelloFresh.com/toastkids. HelloFresh, the America's #1 meal kit. You will love it. I have seriously, it is Turdy approved. It is a fabulous resource for weeknight dinners, whether you're feeding yourself, feeding your family, and check out our link for that exclusive offer.
Thank you, Claudia.
You're welcome.
Our next story, the new Skims cover girl is Charli XCX. She fronts the Shapewear brand's latest campaign. So
this is a no-brainer.
Among a string of just high-profile campaigns and it girls, Kim has tapped Charli XCX to star in her new Shapewear brand's latest campaign, which sees the singer and internet darling pose in the brand's new cotton rib and cotton fleece styles.
So I feel like whenever anyone's having a moment, like Skims does such a good job of grabbing them in a timely manner. Like they turn this stuff, because you never know who's going to go viral. You know, the most impressive is when they had those White Lotus girls. Like they were literally famous for a week and Kim got them on Tuesday. Like it was really brilliant. And I think this also cements Charli, because Charli very much operated, she's having a moment, but it really started small and really within the gay community. And I think she really has this summer blown up. Obviously, Brat's summer, her music is everywhere, like for everyone. And I think like, you know, getting a Skims campaign is really kind of like the last big thing before it's like cemented. So I think this is a big deal. Now, obviously, I can't help but make this about Taylor, you know?
Of course.
It's like, it's, you know, Skims and Charli is big for everyone. But like to me, it's like, oh, it's the I Hate Taylor club.
Yeah, but it's usually like Skims is like the I Love Taylor club these days. And it's like
so
very
true.
It's very confusing for me to understand how that happens. So like I like this because it makes sense.
It's so true. 1 + 1 is equaling 2.
Yeah, not like sock and are there people feeling weird and they had to ask. And then the Sabrina, when she mentioned that she talked to Taylor about Skims, like people can't get over that. That was the headline. And then she addressed that headline when she did Variety's cover. And then her addressing it was in the next headline. Like it's a lot and it makes me feel weird that like, you know, Sabrina might be feeling pulled into different directions. And it happens to Lana Del Rey. Like, and it's confusing because like when my best friend has a mortal enemy, like they are my enemy.
I take on that enemy for myself.
Like I'm certainly not going to be like working with them and promoting them. Like I'm going to be with my best friend.
No, it was definitely confusing at that time. And I think it's recently got even more confusing. So this makes a lot of sense.
I like this because it follows like a very linear trajectory.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like Charli, it's Charli August for sure.
Right. And there was like no sort of hesitations for Charli to be like, oh, should I do Skims?
Is there any reason why I shouldn't do this? No, there are actually even more reasons why I should.
Oh, they'll just like add her to the list of people who have opened for Taylor Swift and also starred in Skims campaigns. Like,
all the other ones who are still, she's on a separate list of people who have opened for Taylor Swift who no longer speak to Taylor. And who actively beef with Taylor.
Yeah. That to me is, and like, I think she has denied that there's any sort of beef, but like for me, I can't be convinced.
I mean, if they're not like congratulating each other on their new music, then there's beef.
Yeah.
There just is. Where's Camila and Taylor?
Where is Camila Cabello and Taylor? Like, I don't think that they have beef at all, but there was a point where they were so up each other's asses, like publicly, privately, hanging out, double dates, like everything. They have not been spotted together in a really long time. And, you know,
Camila also just doesn't like do spotting anymore. Like she's low key and she's between albums. So she's just living off the grid.
She's like not between albums. She's like actively on the grid, like releasing new stuff, making TikToks with anyone who will make a TikTok with her. Like she's actively in her thirsty era. The era you're referring to, like
and like 2 months ago.
Yeah, like it was a long time. So at first I was like, well, Camila Cabello hasn't been spotted with anyone. So like the Taylor of it all isn't weird, but it's weird. Like I'm officially, you know, confused.
Yeah. So congrats to Charli and Skims on the great photos and collaboration.
Yeah, like a no-brainer for everyone involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
Yeah.
One of my favorite swirlies is making
lipstick. Like, I feel like I could use a little bit of like a touch
You
up.
actually like have nice color.
I'll take yours. Like, don't be stingy.
No.
Bring it up.
The thing about this color though is not super. It looks very natural and it might dull your shine. Just saying.
I'm used to it.
You're used to it? Really?
Everyone's
Who's dulling your shine,
Everyone.
Turdy? Talk to us.
Everyone who wants, like, everyone wants a piece of me.
Open up.
Because you're the apple's rotten right to shiny.
They're dulling your shiny.
Okay, I'm ready for the fifth and final now that I have my lipstick on.
Fifth and final is
lipstick on a pig.
One of my favorite girls making news. Julianne Hough is on a press tour for her book, and she's actually making a lot of news. But one thing,
good for her, because seriously, no one was talking about her book, and now they are.
Well, I follow her on Instagram, so like I've been knowing about her book, and it's a fiction book, so it's different. It's not like we can get teasers of like her life story.
Right.
It's, you don't want to spoil the fiction book. So anyways, she has her new book coming out and she went on Watch What Happens Live and she was asked a question.
Good question. I want to say, we always are talking about how like Andy gets a good gossip from people and he does ask really good questions, but really the audience interaction, because they have people like zoom in, those people like are so fucking shady. They ask the craziest questions.
When they can like stop talking for a second and get to the question.
Hi Andy, I love you. I met you in Minneapolis.
I got your book.
And you just know Andy like hates these people. He's like, thanks so much. What's your question?
I feel like I hate it so much because I know how angry it makes Andy and how it like sets him off. It sets him off and ruins the show.
Yeah, and he only likes it.
And he's so worried about the time of his show.
No, he only likes when people compliment him when he's actively promoting something. Like when he promotes his books, he does like a 4-month promotion on Watch What Happens Live. Like it's brought up every single episode. And when people are like, Andy, we love your book. And he's like, held it up. Thanks. That's the only time he likes it.
And when he's not, he's like, shut up.
No, seriously, like he doesn't give the guests 1 minute to even answer a question. He hates that Zoom part because people people take advantage of, because it's their 15 seconds. They're like,
I'm getting every time they have their quarterly Watch What Happens Live meeting, like he tries to get them to stop doing that. Right. And they're like, no, Andy, like it's good for the show. And I think Watch What Happens Live started as like a fan engagement show. And like so much of that has been taken away. Yep. And like, I think that the Zoom is a core tenet of the show. And Andy's like, ugh, fine.
Yeah, no. And I'm surprised at this point they haven't just done pre-recorded people where they cut out, everyone's like, Andy, I love you so much. I've been watching Housewives forever. And they just cut that out and say, my question's for Kim.
Right. But it is live most of the time.
Right.
So Carter V wants to know if there's ever been a Dancing with the Stars winner that you've strongly disagreed with, Andy asked.
Which is such a great question because the lore around like who gets cast on Dancing with the Stars, who ends up winning Dancing with the Stars is like highly controversial. And anyone involved, like between the judges or the pros, they never talk about it.
Very subjective. Like, so she said, and she, Mickey Guyton reached over and tapped her on the arm while clearing her throat. And then Julianne said, I think she has an answer for that about Mickey Guyton, who was the other guest. Hold on. And then Andy asked Mickey who she said, and Mickey replied, I just said Bobby Bones.
Oh.
And then Julianne said, I actually agree with you. She said, and I think it's because of the fan base. It's all about fan base on that show. He was not the best dancer.
Right.
I just want to say, like,
Mickey Guyton hates Bobby Bones. That's really crazy.
I have so many things to say. And like, as a fan of Bobby Bones, I don't appreciate the slander.
Right.
Like, and why did it have to be Bobby?
Although I do want to say, because I remember when I wasn't watching the show, but I remember when he won, how it was like the audience was in a tizzy.
Yeah. So that was like not a crazy one to say because yes, objectively, he might have not been the best dancer. But if it was just about the best dancer, they wouldn't have fan votes.
Voting. Yep.
So that's what it is. I appreciate Julianne for giving an answer because these days people wouldn't give an answer. And then I have to appreciate Mickey Guyton for like pushing her to give her an answer and supplying her with one that like seems to be the right answer and that a lot of people will understand. But like Mickey Guyton is like an upcoming country radio star, like saying that is kind of crazy.
No. Okay. So if you don't know who Mickey Guyton is, she's like I wouldn't even say she's small. She's like really having a moment, but she's new to the country music scene. She's like big in country and like she gets a lot of work within country music, like for CMA, CMT, and that's so Bobby Bones, right? Like he hosts all this stuff. If you don't know Bobby Bones, he's the host of like the biggest country music Sirius XM radio show, and I guess he went on Dancing with the Stars and he won. So for her to answer a question that wasn't asked to her and give
like
an answer.
Nobody, Mickey Guyton throwing Bobby Bones in front of us.
Giving the answer as, you know, someone who's really powerful in country music, I feel like she hates him. Like they have beef.
100%. And then they like high-fived after for agreeing with each other, but also acknowledged that he was great on Dancing with the Stars.
Damn, that's really crazy, actually.
It is kind of crazy.
She hates him.
Yeah, she doesn't like him. Julianne, I think, was trying to be
no, and
diplomatic.
It's not a controversial answer. I think if you ask any Dancing with the Stars lifelong fan, they would say the season that made the least sense in terms of winner. It's like it's a general consensus of the fans.
But if Mickey Guyton like hadn't tossed it to her, I don't know if she would have answered. She might have not been able to like drum up an answer in time anyway. But
it makes sense. Like you have this huge audience. You're filming a show. Like you can literally go on your radio show to millions of people and say, like, vote for me.
Yeah, no, and everyone.
I'm sure they were running commercials.
It's Dancing with the Stars. Like, you would hope that everyone has a big audience that they can tap into. They're supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's not always just audience because the biggest people don't always win. It's not confirmed. It has to be a mix of both.
Yeah.
Like decent scores and a big audience.
Right. So maybe that's.
But like, if you really don't like the fan vote part of it, then that shouldn't be a part of it. But I also do like that it shows that the fan votes actually
matter.
Count. It's not like curated and we just like toss your votes into a bin. And
he must have had so many more votes than who he was up against, like unignorable amounts.
Yeah. Did Charli D'Amelio win Dancing with the Stars? Because literally, how could she not?
Right.
She's a professional dancer with a huge audience.
With 100 million followers. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Like if I were on her season, I just like would have stopped trying.
I was seeing like people are campaigning. They want Jordan Childs to be on Dancing with the Stars. And it's like, I love her. But it really brings back to the thing we talk about at least once a year. Like, I don't understand how that's fair. How you're going to have seriously Jordan Childs up against like a 300-pound footballer. Yeah. Right. Or like a 300-pound footballer who seriously like doesn't know his right foot from his left because he seriously just like runs for a living instead of dances.
But at least Jordan Childs like is a trained gymnast. It's different than like when it's Heather Mars. And seriously, Charli D'Amelio. Charli D'Amelio is literally the greatest dancer.
Yeah. Like seriously.
It's so crazy. But I don't think it's fair that Jordan Childs should be precluded from something that is like the next thing in her career. Like she deserves to be a part of it. She
won't be precluded.
It's never going to be totally even when you have people of all ages, of all genders. Like it's
sizes, flexibilities.
It's never going to be totally fair. And like I can accept that about Dancing with the Stars.
I mean, I have accepted.
I don't look for fairness. Like that's not where I get my dose of fairness.
Yes, so true. So true.
But Julianne said what she said. Mickey said what she said. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see if they stop playing Mickey Guyton on the radio. Like,
let's see.
Because country music is so old school. Like the way you get,
that's how it works.
yeah,
Like
the way you get like popular and your songs out there, it's like you have to kiss the ass of country radio hosts. Like radio plays such a big part in the success of a country music artist. Like there are probably singers you've never heard of who get played all the time and are making so much money. Like it's really this.
But you could still like, it's still 2024. So like people can still get big on the internet, like Zach Bryan.
Yes.
A lot of like smaller artists can come up that way, but like there is still the traditional trajectory. And I think that's the thing for pop music too. Like there's still industry plants who are planting.
Yeah. But country's just like
country
so old
really,
school.
it's a small world. Like there's a few key players and like it's just little. It
was brave.
It's brave to call one of them out by their name for not being a good dancer.
That's our show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. This is our final week of shows. Well, not really. We're just taking next week off. It's officially like summer hiatus, and then we're back in our usual remote setup starting September. So just keep that in mind for next week. Maybe start banking some episodes or join patreon.com/toes.
Yeah, you know it'll be popping over on the Patreon. When the girls are away, the Patreon will slay.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Toast, the Monday morning show where we deliver the fast life stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribing to this video, thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast and where podcasts can be found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Video, iHeart, Castbox, all the places we visit podcast. Find us, so just leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, about how stunning, about how wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.